coming in hot. Chinchy, what's going on, brother?
Coming in hot, dude. MLB Network, are we at right now? I see
Yeah,
this fancy suits.
you like my new blue suit, David Allen? Thanks, David Allen, for the new suit.
There you
Right?
go. Nice,
Well, it
Case.
wasn't. I didn't. He didn't give it to me. I paid for it. So, like,
Yes,
thanks for making great suits. I know you like the business too.
I love it, dude. I love it. All right, dude, we got so much to talk about. There's a lot going on. One guy that popped into your head before we came on, you were like, dude, we have to talk about this dude. And it's Kyle Schwarber. So why so? I asked.
Well, dude, I just we're so locked. We're so locked into we're so locked into you know Aaron Judge and how great he is. And sometimes you start to not look around, and I just think, like, when you look around, you start peeling back the layers. Like, hey, look at Kyle Schwarber, 41 game on base streak. I think Judge has a 32, 41 game on base streak. Guy's hitting close to 260 again. He's got 12 bombs. He's driving in runs. He's the leader of the Phillies, right? And what's funny is, I mean, this guy's been one of the best players these last couple of years. I just also a shout out to Kevin Long too. Kevin Long is the best hitting coach in the big leagues, dude. Hitting coaches don't stick around for a while. You just saw Brett Boone take over in Texas. Donnie Ecker's a great hitting coach too, but like, guys don't hit, they fire you. Wherever Kevin Long goes, they hit. Whenever Kevin Long goes to
Always.
the Yankees, they hit. Kevin Long goes to the Nationals, they hit. Kevin Long goes to the Phillies, they hit. It's incredible. So Kyle Schwarber was with him in Washington. Kyle Schwarber's now with him in Philly. I just feel like Schwarber is raking lefties, driving. I mean, dude, the guy's got so much thunder in the bat, dude. He's like so scary. The ball jumps off his bat. He's got unbelievable hands. I love Schwarber because he just continues to become one of the best hitters in the game. And Dave Dombrowski and the Phillies, man, they got some things to deal with here because Schwarber is a free agent at the end of the year. I feel like he's only getting better, and I really feel like he's the leader on that team, and he's the reason that the Phillies, are a big reason why that clubhouse is together, why that team seems united. It's a fun team to watch, but Schwarber is the leader on that team, and that's a big one. Chancey, you got to decide. Are you got Trey Turner locked up for $300 million? You got Bryce Harper locked up for $300 million, and he probably wants an extension. What does Schwarber come back for? And dude, the numbers that he's putting up are saying that, what did he sign? 3 for 75 or something like that
Right.
initially. Now the numbers are saying, hey man, this guy could be a, $30+ million player. I think he is, no doubt about it. $30+ million player. And, do you lock him up and bring him back?
Great point. Also, I'm going to go back. He signs with the Phillies in 2022, correct?
Yeah.
Since then, right? So starting in 2022, 46 bombs, 47 bombs, 38 bombs, and now he's got that black mark next to his 12 home runs, leading the league in homers.
Right.
He's got 296 home runs. Did you know that? He's gonna hit his 300th home run. The dude,
I did not know that. That's
I
incredible.
did not either until I just looked at it now while we're talking.
How old is he, Chinch?
He's in his age 32 season.
Dude, there you go, man. I'm telling you that he's getting better. Like fine wine, man. Schwarber is getting better with age, and it's impressive to watch. And I've known Schwarber since he was a young kid, man. This guy's just such a good dude, and he comes from a great middle class family, hardworking. I think his dad was a sheriff. You know what I mean? Just good people, man. Just really good people, good stock, and those fans in Philly love this guy because he's one of them, dude. He's one
They
of
love
them.
the clubs too. I mean, dude, you coached Anthony Rizzo, right? He learned from Anthony Rizzo. He learned from Grandpa Rossi. He learned how to win a championship, dude. Don't forget, he missed a whole season and came back and helped them win a World Series. Like, the guy's a hell of a player, I gotta say.
Dude, and that matters. That matters who you come in with. Those veteran guys like Riz and Rossi and Johnny Lester and John Lackey and there's Ben Zobrist. There were some good dudes on that team when Schwarber was coming up and Chris Bryant, Javi Baez, those guys. But that was I also think that's why Ian Happ's had such a nice career. You learn to become a pro in the big leagues from those veteran guys. Like, I learned to become a pro from Greg Vaughn. I learned how to treat teammates from Pete Harnish. I learned how to play the game from Barry Larkin. You know what I mean? Like, there's some, Ken Griffey Jr. was around. There's certain guys you're like, thank God Those were the guys when I was coming up. Jim Tomey when I was coming up with the Matt Williams. Just watching some Dave Justice. I remember Dave Justice so kind to me, having conversations with me, talking to me how to hit lefties, talking to me about counts. Sitting on the bench with those guys. Like I look back, dude. I feel like I'm 23 again when I start reminiscing about this stuff. I'm like thankful for those guys that poured into me and showed me the way. And when you look at Schwarber, there's a footprint, there's a print on Schwarbs that there's a lot of guys that showed him the way. He was already a great guy, and then all of a sudden, now you're in Philly, you're the leader, and you're trying to get back to the World Series, and you're almost at 300 home runs, and you have an incredible career. You're about to sign a big deal. It all matters, dude. It all matters.
Yeah, that's great. And handicapping that division real quick, the Mets are the Mets, and we're going to talk about them. Juan Soto hit 2 bombs. Okay,
Yeah.
he's starting to get hot. Mets 24-14. Everybody going crazy. Oh, this is their year. Blah blah blah. We're looking at before we came on. We're looking at the standings. Phillies only 2 games back, 8-2 in their last 10. Mets are 5-5 in their last 10. Picked up a few games there, but dude, this Philly team is coming. So, how do you compare these two teams right now in this race? With the Mets look like you close your eyes and you think the Mets are undefeated, but it's a barn burner in that
Yeah,
division.
and it's gonna be, man. And the Braves are coming too. The Braves aren't going away. You know what I mean? I think the Nationals are better than you think. You know what I mean? They got some pieces too. But it is funny. You're right. The Mets are 24-14. Soto's getting hot. Lindor's, Alonso's, one of the best players in the league right now. Him and Judge are probably the two best. And you're like, oh man, they're running away with this division. You look up, Phillies are 2 back. They're just a good team, dude. They're a good team top to bottom. Trey Turner just hit his first home run last night too. So like, he's not even going yet. You know what I mean? So like, and Nola got off to a tough start. So like, they're doing a lot of things right. They're just a solid baseball team. And that division is going to be fun, dude. That division, the Mets, that's going to be a barn burner. That's going to be a 2-3 dog race, horse race all the way to the end.
Yeah, and the thing is, dude, star power on both teams. Like those playoff matchups, they're really cool to see them. You think Schwarber, Turner, Bryce Harper, and then you got Lindor, Pete Alonso.
Real muto. Yeah.
Real muto, dude. Unbelievable stuff. Now, let's flip it over to the American League because there's a team that has won 9 straight series. Tell me how hard that is. And it's the Seattle Mariners, 8-2 in their last 10, 22-14, atop the AL West. By the way, Athletics in second place, which we talked about. They're pretty awesome too. But dude, what are the Mariners doing in your opinion?
Well, they just had an incredible series too. A's, Mariners going head to head, and the A's got up a couple times. Mariners fought back. If you go and look, they're winning a lot of games late. They're figuring out, dude, they're banging. Last year we're like, oh, the offense. Dude, when Edgar Martinez joined that team, I think August 1st, go look at their offense since then. They're not an offense that's going to hit for an average, but they bang, man. Cal Raleigh hits the ball at the ballpark. J.P. Crawford's having a really nice year. Julio Rodriguez, he's the one guy that's kind of been scuffling. You know what I mean? So like, but they have some guys that can hit. They have guys that can hit the ball at the ballpark, and they got the best pitching in baseball. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. If you pitch, you're going to win, and if you score runs, you can really win games. That's been their recipe. I also think Edgar brought into the mentality of let's quit punching out so much. Like all outs aren't created equal. Just not punch out and be like, hey, I just punched out 170 times. It's all good. No, it's not good. It's not good. Like put the ball in play. So I think since August, since Edgar's been there and Kevin Seitzer brought in too from Atlanta, I really believe that, dude, Chinch, you're seeing that old school baseball mentality back. More teams are bunting. I think that's a big reason Brett Boone came into Texas. And let's get back to playing baseball. Pat Burrell and those guys in San Francisco. Like, let's get back to getting bunts down. Let's get back to getting guys in. Let's get back to, putting the ball in play with 2 strikes. Let's move runners. You're starting to see that more when you're paying attention to the game now. And I think it's great for the game. And I think the Mariners with Edgar Martinez and Kevin Seitzer as leading the way with the hitting mentality. Hitting's a mentality. Everyone wants to get into technique all the time. We didn't stop that. At the end of the day, you have to get really good at seeing that ball, having a game plan of where you're trying to attack. What am I trying to attack? I mean, for the best hitters in the game, you're attacking the fastball. If you're guessing nowadays, Chinch, it ain't happening, dude. If you're guessing slider, okay, the percentage you could say this guy throws 52% sliders with 2 strikes, good, that's good. Log it in the back of your mind. Stay on the fastball. Stay on the fastball because you can hit everything else. So, I think a lot of that thought process of those hitting coaches is like, let's get back to process oriented hitting baseball. What am I trying to
Mhm.
do? What am I looking for? What am I hunting? And also too, ball mentality. You're hunting the baseball. Let's stop thinking so much about all these mechanics and how my body's moving and this and that. Stop that stuff. Exit velo. Hit the freaking baseball. Square it up. Get a pitch to hit. Get in high leverage counts. Get ready to freaking be aggressive and attack.
Yeah, and let's add one more thing to that. Fourth in the American League in RBIs, dude. How about that? And they're fourth in batting. What was the batting average here?
Are they,
Yeah, batting average fifth and fourth
are
in
they really
RBIs,
fifth
dude.
in batting average? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the batting averages are not great right now in the American League. 258 leagues. The A's have a 258 team batting
I know.
average, and they're
They
first.
do. They got some bangers in that lineup. And Nick
Yeah, they
Kurtz
do.
is just starting to get going.
There you go. One other guy to mention for Seattle, Polanco, dude, has 9 bombs. He's hitting 348 as the DH in 28
Dude, you
games.
know what? I meant to talk about him. I was like, I kept thinking, there's one guy I'm missing here. Jorge Polanco, dude. What a sign. Last year, he got it kind of banged up. Didn't have that great of a year. Had a bad knee. But the Mariners gave him, I think, 1 year, $7 million because they like, okay, dude, it was a late sign, too. If you go back to the offseason,
Yeah,
really late sign. Bro, without him, they're in trouble.
there you
He's
go.
been that good. He's by far the MVP of that lineup and that team.
There you go. One other guy you mentioned before the season started. The Red Sox need to sign this guy. Need to sign this guy. His name is Alex Bregman. Just hit his 200th home run, and he is fitting in a lineup. They're trying to still figure it out a little bit. I think the Red Sox, but they figured that one out pretty early. They got the right
Is
guy.
he not perfect? I mean, what is he? He's at like 320. Why? Because he pulls the ball. And guess what? The monster's like 300 feet away. It's like you're in a small, like high school park. You get a nice
Dude,
fly ball to left, it's a hit. That's why Boggs and those guys are hitting 380, 390. Omar's hitting, these guys. If you pop, and Bregman's a pull hitter. It's like it couldn't be for any guy in the big leagues. Boston couldn't have been a better place for Breggy. And he's delivering. He is delivering.
dude, you said before you were like, this guy's gonna hit 1 billion
Yeah.
doubles, some way, whatever. How about he's leading the league with 15 doubles,
There you
dude?
go, dude.
37 games, he's got 15
There you go,
doubles.
dude. There you go. Because he's got good speed. He pops it up. It sometimes hits those high pop ups to left. That gives air times, gives him a chance to run. So boom, you
Yeah,
got it.
dude. 327 batting average. His OPS is 1.013. He's got a 401 on base percentage
Dude,
right now,
you
dude.
know,
If you squint, it's Dustin Pedroia. If you squint,
yeah,
like it's the same guy.
same guy, dude.
Off
No,
that.
and Pedroia is Bregman's guy.
He is. Actually, I just heard Pedroia was just on. He called.
Call Bregman.
He called him and he's like, "This is why you need to go to this team." So cool.
I love it.
It's funny. It's so funny. We had Pedroia on our podcast. He was one of our first guests like 3-4 years ago. And remember, I'll never forget. He was like leaning over his computer. He's got this beautiful house, but it's like locked in, like leaning over. He was on Nesson yesterday in the same spot with I think the same hat and outfit on, and he just sits there and he just talks about like the guy is a baseball maniac. He's a freak.
Dude, the greatest thing about Pedroia, you want to talk about mindset? You want to talk about not thinking about your swing? This guy was like, I'm about to rip somebody's head off tomorrow. It was such a mindset, dude. That's what I mean. Like, go watch what Dustin and Bregman's got that same thought process. Like, I'm coming for you. I always felt that when Breggy first broke in, I'm like, this guy's different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That mentality of just like I'm coming for you. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. All right. One more guy I wanted to hit on. I mentioned this to you earlier when we were putting our little list together, some topics. Is Max Fried the number one acquisition so far in Major League Baseball?
I mean, how good has he been, dude? What's his ERA? Is it below 1 or it's right at 1? It's right at 1, a little above 1.
He is 6-0 with a 1.05 ERA.
1.05, dude. With Garrett Cole, Luis Gil going down, Stroman goes down. You're really leaning on Carlos Rodon, who's had a nice year before. But if Max Fried had not stepped up, the Yankees would be in trouble. And the Yankees have to be so fired up that they signed him. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. The amazing thing about him too is he's got 51 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's only got 47 strikeouts, so he's like it's almost like he's in this day and age, that's like a pitch to contact guy. And to have a 1.05 ERA without striking out like 12 an inning like some guys do. It just goes to show you that like you don't have to be throwing 109 miles per hour, even though everybody tries to do
Well,
that
dude,
now.
even Skeens was saying like it just need weak contact. You just got to attack the zone, and you got to attack the zone with good movement. Free's got that big curveball. He's got the mid-90s fastball. He's got great stuff, good changeup. He knows how to pitch, but it's weak contact. If you attack the zone with a little bit of movement, and guys are putting balls in play like weekly, dude, that's what you want. And you want to. The reason he's 6-0 is because he's navigating games where he's going deep into the games. Well, how do you do that, Chinch? You don't strike everybody out. You get strike one, then you work up, and those leverage counts for pitchers, and you start to move the ball around, crisscross the plate. Make sure you're dotting the balls where you want to dot them. Next thing you know, you're 6-0 with a 105.
Yeah, the other thing, I mean, this is more of like a wild thought by me, but I think I might be accurate here. Like, with pitching, it's different. Like, you bring up the hitters in 22, 23 years old, and they usually get it. I'm taking the guys like Skeens out of this equation because they're just super duper freaks at like 22, 23, 24. These guys at late 20s, early 30s, I think is the sweet spot for starting pitchers. I mean, I always go back, like Al Leiter didn't like really become a great pitcher until he was like 30, 31 years old. Freed's 31, and I think he's at his best now. He was great with Atlanta a couple of years ago, but like I think he's figured it out. I think there's something pitchers do that they figure it out a little later than the offense does, even though they're ahead when they
Yeah,
come
well,
up.
I think
What's
the
your take?
biggest thing is you can't teach experience. And you start to understand who you are. You start to understand what your best pitches are. You start to understand what you can throw for strikes when you're down in the count. What's your best deception pitch? You start really honing your craft, man. And I think for pitchers, that skill of like being able to repeat mechanics, being able to mentally know where to go, being able to know face different hitters and understand how they're trying to attack you in that chess game. I just think you become more of a master as you go on in the league.
I agree, dude. All right, what do you
I
got
got
here at the
MLB now.
network? You've been
MLB now today, dude. 12 to 1:30, and then I'm driving back home. Carly's just finished her first year at Fordham. She's going home today, so she's done. Yeah, so
nice.
we packed her up today. Sarah and I are
Pack her up in a station wagon
a
like the
family truckster,
Griswolds.
bro, like a family truckster. She's not.
Roll them
Well,
up.
this is where it gets a little ridiculous. Carly's flying home. Me and Sarah driving home.
Come on.
But the
That's
only reason that's
great.
happening is because she can't fit in the car. We have all her stuff. I'm like, just fly home. We'll meet you there.
Wait, so you packed all of her stuff yourself? Did you do this? Did you go to
Sarah did.
the dorms and you
Sarah did.
uh,
Sarah packed it this morning.
good work. Good work. I
I
love
did
it.
help. I
Nice.
did help the other day. We have a storage place here in Jersey, so we went through a couple stuff in storage. So a couple days ago, I did go down and get her
Okay.
fridge out of there and all the other stuff. So it was good. And then Jake graduates tomorrow from Kent State.
Holy
Incredible, dude. Incredible.
stromboli. Jake, Jake who's tearing up college
He's,
baseball
he's
right now,
having a,
just
he's
by the
having a
way.
good year, but man, it's been a fun year to watch. It's been a fun journey to watch him for 4 years. How you know just life goes, and you realize all your kids are on their own journey. It's kind of fun.
Dude, this year your dad got to see him
Yeah,
play, and you were in the booth at Kent State when your son hit a
dude,
home
I'm
run.
so lucky.
It's
It's
nice,
like that
dude.
song Chris Stapleton, "Joy of My Life." I'm the luckiest man alive. Burn, burn, burn. That's how I feel, dude. I'm the luckiest
Love
man
it.
alive.
Nice.
All right, all right.
All right, well, keep that momentum
Did you have
going
a
today,
great day? What are
brother.
you doing today, man? What do you got?
I mean, we keep putting sheds together and stuff like
I
that.
called Chinch
That's
yesterday.
unbelievable.
He couldn't answer me, and he texted back, "Hey, bro, all good. I'm building a shed." I'm like, "Nah, dude, keep building your sheds."
You got it done now.
Okay.
It's all good. Nice, dude.
All right,
All right,
JC.
brother.
Thanks, man. Hey, everyone out there, we appreciate you listening to us. Subscribe and download if you can. Much appreciated. We'll catch everybody tomorrow. See you, man.